Welcome, everybody, and good morning. This morning's edition of Coffee Talk is with the wonderful and talented and very handsome Bubba Grow and his handsome husband, John. I forgot your last name, I'm sorry.
Burgoyne.
Burgoyne.
Okay, forget it. John Burgoyne. And today with Joan Rivers, we have lots of things to talk about. You know, Joan was never quiet in this lifetime, and she certainly has not changed since she's gone over to the other side. She's still full of the same loving and funny personality that she had here, with, I think, just a different perspective from over there.
Very
So
interesting perspective.
very interesting. And she's been with me for a couple days. She's been excited, to be here and talk to us and you all. And her energy again is funny and acerbic as she was before. You know, you get in the shower and when you hear all this stuff and they're with you, you hear a certain thing and Joan's like, don't forget to wash, where. And I'm all like, what?
I love it.
OMG, okay, it's Joan, that's so her, and she starts to laugh. Yeah, so funny personality. And she's come through with Mike Douglas, who was a television personality when I was younger, and he did interviews, and they're good buds up there. And I know that, Bubba, you also have had Joan around you.
Yeah.
So let
Yeah.
us know how that's been going.
Well, I was looking for questions. I know a lot about her. I know everything. I was looking for questions to ask her, and there she was. And so I asked her a lot of these questions. So she might today say, "Now you know you've asked me these before. You fucking idiot." I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. But I'm gonna ask them again, Joan.
She says, ask away, honey, no problem.
I think we should start off with Can We Talk?
Yes. So, are y'all ready? Because we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of great questions from people that won the contest and other people. So, we're going to start this. And first thing I want to do is ask Joan, can we talk?
She starts to laugh and she says, can we talk? Oh, honey, we can talk. Fire away. I'm ready to talk.
That's right. That's right. First, I want to know, Joan, what are you wearing?
She has a beautiful blue suit on, and it's got a white shirt, but it looks to be almost like a baby blue business suit. She's ready for the interview. And when I see Joan, she is so beautiful, and it is herself in her 30s, 40s, and quite ironically, we've had a discussion about this because I was talking about how beautiful she was and why did she feel the need to have so much plastic surgery. And her response, of course, was she didn't feel beautiful, not by Hollywood standards, but it's almost a Jackie O outfit.
Yes,
She's wearing
wow.
Chan-
That's
she's wearing a Chanel outfit, I bet.
Oh, she says, honey, you know me.
yes. And let me tell you something. What is so awesome is we just watched Jackie last night. And I thought of Joan with the suits.
She goes, honey, that's no coincidence. I'm there nudging you the whole time.
That's right. That's
What's up?
right. Okay, well, I have a question. Even though there's no need, do you like to dress up there often?
Well, she says, that's a funny question. She says, here on this side, no, there's no need for clothes. All we are is energy, she says. But what I do like to do is when I hang out and present myself and my spirit to, my fans and my family, I get mighty dressed up to present them with their memory or their thought of me. So I
Yeah,
still have fun that way. I just don't need to over here.
awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, I know that you're writing another book in heaven.
Hmm.
You're writing a book. I would like to know, are you going to channel that through somebody or are you going to like store it away?
She says, I would love to channel it through somebody. There's quite a few that I talk to and that do channel me. That's not the problem. My daughter uh, right now is the black to that. She's not ready. She still thinks of all this as woo woo, woo woo,
Well,
and
Melissa.
it freaks her out. So she's not quite ready or open to it. Not
Melissa
me.
was
She
like
goes,
this.
it's not me,
Oh,
honey.
yes. Hey, John, would you like to ask anything?
Would she have, if Melissa or Cooper ever watches this, would she have a message she'd want to tell either one of them?
Yes, I wouldn't have fucking done it any other way. Melissa, I did everything to my own drummer. I did everything like I wanted to. And I don't have any regrets in this lifetime. It's very different over here. Cooper, you're the rock man. You are the family. You are the carry-on of this tradition. I love your sense of humor. I love your warmth. And I know you feel grandma.
He
I
does. That was
never leave you,
wonderful.
Cooper. Oh, she's so proud of him.
Oh,
Oh,
I know
very
she
much
is.
so. Very much so.
She,
It's so awesome. We woke up this morning and I said, you know what we need to do? We need to do this interview in bed because Joan had in bed with Joan, so
All
it would
right.
have been so
I
amazing.
wanted to. I have another one that I think is really good. I remember seeing her back live in stand up in 2008 in Lafayette, Louisiana. And I mean, there was barely a soul in the audience. She was amazing. I couldn't believe hardly nobody was there. And, later her career blew up after Celebrity Apprentice. But I guess, when her business got slow, did she ever feel like giving up? And what kept her going?
Well, she says, it's really the only thing that I cared to do. I had business ventures, and you know how that went.
She
Yeah.
did good on QVC. I mean, it kept her going.
No, she's talking about different things that didn't go so well. But she says, what kept me going was my passion to make people laugh and my sarcasm. And I said things that nobody else would dream to say. I just said out loud. And that's what, made it funny. Because I'd say things that they'd only think. And it wouldn't be so funny if it weren't true.
Hmm.
Exactly.
So it was her
And
passion for doing what she loved.
Doing what she loved. She says, what I loved. And I love Louisiana. It's a great place. It's one of my favorite places to be. And it really was an opportunity to work with a small crowd. And that's what made it so intimate and so great. I was very grateful for the small crowd. And Donald Trump's an asshole.
well, that brings me to my next question. You won Celebrity Apprentice. You spent time with Donald Trump. What do you think about him as our president?
Well, she's cussing in Yiddish. She's kind of funny, right? Oy vey, oh, woe is me, what the hell? And then she's doing cocky moon, which means go shit in your hat. But she's laughing the whole time, right? And she says, listen, this all has a purpose, a big picture purpose. So while, I wouldn't have voted for him if I were there, I think that it's all pushing everything to where it needs to be. It pushes humanity.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to give him is that he will say what's on his mind with no filter, kind of like me.
Yeah.
Worked
Yeah.
for me, may not work as well for him. And she's like slapping her knee and laughing.
Yeah.
But she says the biggest key here is going to be not to worry and just have trust and faith that there's a bigger picture and a bigger plan and keep calm. Don't add to that energy of fear.
Correct. I'm a firm believer that I think as a society we feel like that one man controls everything. He doesn't. If we all are part, we all make up this United States, and we forget that when that one person takes office, we act like we lost control.
Well, she says, that's a really good point because you really aren't in control. Look at your college electoral system. That's fucked up. She
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she says. And she says that, the biggest, um, the biggest thing, rather than even saying that it's just one man, is the illusion that we're all separate and that we can't do anything.
Correct.
That's
And
right.
when we add to the energy of fear, it's counter to what we really want to do. So even though you feel like you don't have any control, when you add to the energy of love, that's what will rise up. So you do have that control.
Wow, yes.
You're right.
Okay, this is not a question, but I do want to thank Joan. In 2012, 12 or 13, we saw her in Biloxi, first row. She was amazing. And she gave me a plant.
Hmm.
And I just want to tell her thank you so much for giving the little gay guy the plant, which she made clear. She was hilarious, and we love her.
Oh, she says you're welcome. And she says, I have nothing against gay people. Actually, I love gay people.
She really does. She
She,
Oh
really
yeah.
does.
she's like, they're the greatest energy because they're in tune with who they are.
Yes.
Nobody ever took what she says to heart, because she picked fun at herself too, So
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, she said it was self-deprecating humor very much so. And I have to tell you something funny because here in Utah, I will use this little thing and I'll say, before I got here, all I knew about Mormons was Donnie and Marie, and that's really the truth. And I thought Marie had smiley faces instead of nipples. And I
I
stole that from Joan.
love
I never got that. Oh, and she laughs at me and she goes, "It's okay. The joke still is alive. You're paying tribute to me, but."
And Joan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. In one of your past lives, it's so ironic. You were a black male. And then in the life you just lived, you were a Jewish woman.
She says, "Talk about polarity." Oh my God, honey. Isn't that funny what we choose to do? And not only was I a black man, I was a repressed black man.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yes, it's
And
amazing to me because it's so funny, like how just things can go from one life to a totally separate life, but it coincides.
she says that, yes, absolutely, it does coincide, but what the best part and where the grace in this is where you meet in the middle of the two. Because that's where you find the joy. Because you can't know, again, one without the other. The great dichotomy.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, a more serious question I have for you is with Edgar. I know the death of your husband Edgar put you in a state of depression and you were even suicidal. Um, what made you bounce back and pick yourself up to be such a big part of show business?
her word.
She says, yeah, it really took me for everything that I had in me. It losing him, and especially in the way that he passed, because I felt so responsible that I didn't see it coming, and that we weren't in a good place. And I finally, at one point, came to what I call non-resistance and realized that there was nothing I could have done, said, to save him from doing what he was doing. That was his journey, that was his path. And once I realized that to my core and the very core of my being, I was okay and made peace with it, and that's when I moved on.
Wow.
I had to.
And everything. How are y'all now?
He wasn't mad, he was fucking pissed.
Yes, he was fucking pissed.
Dude,
He was He hung up the phone on her. It's
Yeah.
Do
crazy.
not diminish that emotion. That emotion was total, complete hate at that particular point in time
Mm-hmm.
between the two of us. I was quite shocked at his reaction. I thought he'd be happy for me.
But he wasn't.
He was afraid, I believe, of the
Because you were his big
competition.
deal. You were his big deal. First woman, like, comedian, and you were a big deal. And he lost, he lost that.
That
And
was
instead of
out
being
of
proud,
It
fear.
became a competition.
That's right. He was afraid. He was afraid that I would be bigger. He was very insecure and he really didn't need to be. He had that locked down.
Hmm.
But on this side, there's nothing like that. Whatever is on earth is left on earth because there's nothing but love over here. We actually kind of laugh about it.
I
And we
love it.
So
say,
it was a good reunion then, I take
oh, it
it.
was a good reunion. Of course it was. Yeah, we laughed about it. We had gefilte fish. I don't know if Johnny was Jewish, but that's what she just said. And yeah, we worked it out. She says everything was just fine. And
She told Bubba, when Bubba asked that, she said, he goes to all my fucking parties.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Because
good.
I know.
They're good buds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're good buds. And she's kind of funny because she's just like, we talk it over. And she looked at me and she goes, you don't have to worry about your weight on this side. You just eat. If that's what you want, you eat. You
That's
really
right.
don't
Right.
need to, honestly. But with me, it was kind of this thing. I got here, I ate nothing but, I ate everything, but I ate ice cream all the time. But, it's different over here. She says it was like I did this to satisfy the physicality. Because when you come over to this side, you need to adjust to the vibration.
Yes.
And in the physical, it was so big for me, my weight, my looks.
So that's another good question. I mean, since you've crossed over and you're on the other side, I know that none of that matters now. Would you have done it while you were on Earth, knowing what you know now? How do you feel about plastic surgery?
She says, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have come to Earth in the first place,
Good one.
is what she said. But
Sure. It's learning.
she says, hey, look, it's like anything else. You get out of it what you think you're going to get out of it. But the thing and what comes in for people and where it all goes awry is when they do it because they don't feel good enough. That if that's the motivating emotion behind, uh, you know, uh, the plastic surgery, you could spend millions of dollars like I did on plastic surgery and still never feel good enough.
Correct. Because I would like to get it done myself. That's why I'm asking.
She just looked at me and she goes, does he not look in the fucking mirror? He's so handsome.
I love her.
Oh.
Love it. Okay, let's see. Another question I have to ask is, there are a lot of parties there because you're fabulous, and I just see you. I've even painted something. Watch. I even see you talking to the energy, if you will, at the pearly gates, and I painted it on a rock because you have to have your way. Does Eric ever go to any of your parties?
Oh, she goes, he's the one with the lampshade.
Yes.
She just said that I am not fabulous, Bubba, my friend. I am fabulous.
Oh yes, you gotta
And
have the
my
snap.
parties are the talk still. We get together, we hang out, we have so much fun, and nothing is barred. Everything goes, and that's where my friend Eric comes in.
Oh,
And she says that her parties, because I'm like, you have parties in heaven. Well, do you need it? And she's like, fuck that. Everybody needs a party. A.
yes.
A. B. When everybody first gets here, there's a party after you do that life review thing. She says, so all the celebrities that I've known that are crossing, it's a big fucking party. I throw the best parties.
Exactly. And I know something else that I told you she came through to me, and her whole life review, she didn't pay attention to a word of it or a thing of it. She didn't even look at it. She wasn't interested. She did it just for
Cause,
pleasing
hmm
or for just shits and giggles, if
experience.
you will.
Right. Yeah,
I
she
love
says, I
that.
have no regrets, but I didn't need that
That's
for. And you know what she said? Because I believe it was Holly that asked me that how could she be so mean to some people? Because, on the fashion police,
yeah.
she would say such, um, yeah, cutting remarks or whatever. And she goes, honey, I made a lot of money out of doing that. Are you kidding me?
That's right.
I'm not going to regret that. If it hurt their feelings, I say put on your big girl or your big boy pants and realize that it's all in fun. If you can't take a joke, fuck you.
How is her feel? How is her take on the Kardashians now?
Oh my God. She says, oh my. You ready? She goes like this.
I love it.
I'm
Yes.
like, okay.
Like, get over yourselves already.
Loud and clear. She did not.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
I wanted to see what did she think of the first lady's dress on the inauguration.
Oh, I loved it. And kind of the suit she's wearing today is that same color blue. And she says, and you can see it's a knockoff of Jackie O too.
Jackie O, yeah. I was gonna say that. I told
Mm-hmm.
you. I knew it.
Yep, she
Yeah.
can. She says you can see it's a knockoff on Jackie O. She wore it well. Melania is a pretty woman, and Joan says that she has met her before, and that she is very sweet on the inside, and that those two personalities don't match, but that's what makes it work for them.
Awesome, awesome. And now I want to know, what was your proudest moment on the camera, on the red carpet? Because we already know your proudest moment was Melissa.
Right. And Cooper. She's running so many through my head right now. I got to pick one, okay? She's got to pick one and tell me which one it is. And please use your words. She goes, what am I, 3? Okay. Um, it was a moment with her and Edgar because she's showing me the two of them and she was not interviewing. She showed up for a premiere.
Oh, wow.
It was her and Edgar together.
Yes,
Um,
of her and Edgar together. Um, she said she never felt more loved and supported in her life with him by her side, and there's nothing that could have topped that moment. Not anything professionally. It was a good moment in time.
Wow.
that where you calling us from, Amy?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
All right.
Oh, you're close. You're kind of close to us.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Joan's been with us for a while and she's amazing. So, Amy, she's more than happy and wants to answer your question.
Okay, so my question for Joan is, well, first of all, I used to try to do my hair like hers back in the early, and I would try to get my hair to be just like Joan's. So I've always been a fan. But my question was, it always made me so sad about Edgar, her husband. And I want to know if they're together now, if they have any kind of anything right now, or is she with him? Is he with her?
She says, the two of us experienced so much together, the ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the richest, the poorest, and everything in between. We had that contract, and he left here what everybody felt was early because it was before me, but it was in perfect timing with his contract and the contract that he and I made. So we have no problems over here. We hang out all the time. We're still best of friends, the yin and the yang. And if we happen to decide to incarnate in another lifetime or dimension, we'll experience that together as well.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And she says, thank you for admiring me and for the love.
Oh, thank you for everything, for the laughs.
She goes, that's what I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have other questions?
Ask away.
Me?
Yes?
Yes,
Oh
you.
my gosh. I only had one planned. Okay, so what is one thing that we don't know about her? Like something normal, because all we see is the glam and the glitz and the fabulousness. What was something here that she did that was just regular people stuff?
She said she used Suave shampoo.
Seriously?
It's a good shampoo.
Yeah.
I told Bubba it's a good shampoo all the time. It's cheap, but it works well. She was tight. She loved nice stuff, but
that
she
was
was
the
tight.
most normal thing she said about me. She says, I wasn't going to spend all that fucking money. It was the same shit. It washed my hair. It was great.
But what's crazy is she would pay for her employees, like her butler, and she would send their kids to the best schools.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Spend money on sending their
She
kids
paid
to the
their
best
tuition.
school. Oh yeah.
She says that
Wow.
she has her priorities straight, and that education is way more important than good hair. And I had good hair anyway, so
Yes, she did.
I think she
Win-win.
had. Did she have sewn in weave
Extension.
extensions? She had sewn in extensions.
Really?
I'm
Did she
asking.
have
Did she?
extensions?
Later on in life, I think.
She had to make it full.
she just said, fuck
I'm
you,
glad that
John.
she mentioned.
Fuck you, John.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It looked great. It looked amazing. Yeah, right.
Oh.
I'm glad that she mentioned that about school because we've taken the giant leap and put some things aside, and we put our kids in really college preparatory private schools. So I'm glad to know that that's the right path.
She
For the
said,
kids.
good
Good for you.
move.
Education, like Joan said, is everything.
She
Yeah.
said, good move, Amy. Best thing. You'll never get a Jewish mama to tell you not to do that.
Okay.
With Joan Rivers.
See you later, Joan. Come visit me.
She says, I will. I'll do
Bye.
your, she said she'll do your hair.
Great. I'll take it. Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
She interviewed Bianca Del Rio. It was amazing. It is my favorite.
It is fair. If you ever watched it, please watch it. It's
It is
out of the box.
amazing.
It's great.
Does she ever, because they talk a lot, and did she keep in contact with him, and still now, is she with him sometimes?
She says that was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my entire life. And I do still keep in contact. Our spirits are friends. Our spirits are joined together to a degree. And thank you for watching and making that your favorite. She says it was one of my all-time favorites as well.
It was amazing.
Did she have a white boa on or anything, or feather
Yes,
anything?
yes.
Because that's what I
Oh.
keep seeing is this, and I've never seen this show. Hold your ears, Joan. She wasn't my favorite when she was here. She's all indignant, but she goes, "It's okay. I wasn't everybody's flavor." But what she's showing me is this white boa feathered thing and
Oh, yeah.
diamonds and stuff like that,
And what I loved about it, she had to have it her way. She came up with the idea of In Bed with Joan. Everybody else thought it was crazy. Well, of course, she always talked Melissa into everything. So, Melissa was the producer and stuff. So, and it was a hit. I mean, a lot of people loved it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she says if you took it for its face value, Everybody should have loved it. I never meant to hurt anybody by poking fun. I just simply, again, said what everybody else was thinking and too afraid to say. I just had the balls to say it.
And it was in the basement of Melissa's house. That was her room.
Yeah, she's laughing about that. She says that was genius, wasn't it?
That was genius.
That was.
That was genius.
Yeah.
Let's go with let's see, another guest question. Let's see here. Gina, I would love to know for her what was her favorite part of being Joan here in this human experience. Which one thing gave her the most joy?
Well, so she wants to differentiate two things. The thing that gave her most joy was her family, was her daughter, her grandson, her husband. But what gave her most joy to be Joan and be her unique individual self was her ability to say what was ever on her mind and not give a fuck what anybody else thought. She says that made me me. I was authentic.
That's right. Awesome.
Awesome. Let's go with another one. Pauline, she recently visited North Carolina before she passed. Something about her death is suspicious, especially after saying we have a trainee in the White House. Can she elaborate on her death?
So she says, let's just get and set the record straight on this one thing. It was my time to leave the earth. I was done. You know, I was always reaching for that one more procedure to make me perfect. It was that one last procedure that taught me I was already perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't regret it. Shoo. She's going off. Can you please read the question again? Oh, wait. No,
Oh.
never mind. She's reminding me. She's laughing. She says, Eric's right. You are old. There's 4 conversations going on here. Give me a break. So there was nothing that they could or did have done wrong. The problem comes in is that I was so integral in so many parts of so many lives. I was the moving part of TV contracts and real estate and estates and my daughter and my granddaughter my grandson and all of this. And, you know, when you remove that integral part from humanity, somebody's going to look for fault or for blame because it comes out of not only fear, but hurt. So, no, there was nothing suspicious that went on. It really was my time.
Yeah, after she said there was a trainee in the White House. I guess she was referring to Michelle Obama, how she's real tall. I guess that was sorry.
Actually, she's kind of like embarrassed by that remark. You know, she says, you know, you don't have any regrets, and I have to admit that was pretty cold.
But it was a good joke.
It was a joke. I mean,
Yeah, and she says, yeah, it was a joke. You know, that's just what my style was, but yeah. Oh,
I just love her.
But you really did look like a tranny, she said. Her style had softened after she got in the White House, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember her saying the same thing about what it was, Chloe. She's like one of the Kardashians. She said,
was
you know,
Chloe.
she said, you know the big one. She said, you know that big one, the Kardashian.
But she doesn't regret that.
No. No, she says, well, you knew who I was talking about, didn't you?
That's right.
I got somebody. Leo asked. He was a big fan of hers for many years. Saw her in New York City in the Village, close to Christmas Street. What is Joan doing now since she's limitless on the other side?
She's not limitless.
She's not limitless.
She says, "Hey Leah, what's up? I love your energy, and I do lots of things on here. You know, I can be in a million places at once or more if I so desire. And what I prefer to do is hang out, like where you saw me, and the smaller comedy clubs. And I like to see what's out there. I like to hang out with Melissa and Cooper. I like to see what's new in Hollywood. I sit in the fashion police. You know, I'm sitting there making my own damn funny jokes.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't been the same without me. They lost
No.
looking funny is what they lost, is
Oh,
what
yeah.
she
Yes,
says.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Juliana Rancic, eat a fucking sandwich.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I love it. I have a question.
Yes.
What? Her New York apartment was haunted. And she knew it, but she was okay with it, and you know they had a connection.
Hmm.
Does she um
Did she meet the lady?
Yeah.
I think she figured out that it was one of J.P. Morgan Chase's granddaughters or nieces or something, and I think everything calmed down in the building after they found a picture of her in the basement that they put in the laundry area, like, or maybe in a hall or something they put as like memorable to her, and apparently everybody in the building, everything calmed down. I guess you're asking, did she ever meet her?
did they meet?
She says that they were always connected, and there was a specific reason why she bought that unit, because there was an attraction of energy, and they had previous lifetimes together. And she would also knew that Joan would pay attention to her. Joan says, I was open to energy. I ignored a lot of it, but this she could not. She says this was so obvious I couldn't put the blinders on. And yes, we've met over here. It's a very nice relationship. And she says, yeah, that was the perfect way to honor her, to put her picture up.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What advice does Joan have for us
Mm-hmm.
and for just people in general in living every day to make it your own?
Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. Drop the filter. Be your authentic self. You may offend some people, but so fucking what? Let them put on their big boy pants or their big girl panties and deal with it. I'm not telling you to go out there and be mean by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying express what's on your heart and be your authentic self. I didn't choose my words softly. There are ways to do that as to not shock people. Shocking people is how I made my living. But that doesn't necessarily need to be your way of doing it.
Yeah.
Unless the person you're communicating with accepts that, and that's the way they communicate back as well.
Awesome. I feel like I'm a lot like her because I have no filter, and every day people are telling me, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't post this. And I'm like, who says?
That's right. She says she applauds that, Bubba. She says that's freaking amazing. And she says that, hold on, she says that that's the only way to be your authentic self. And why limit anybody else? Why let anybody else limit your creation and your ability to create?
Absolutely.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joan.
I think I'm a little bit the same way, but a little bit different. Like, I have no problem telling someone when they have underarms, or like, and like Bubba's like, I can't believe you told her. I was like, well, somebody had to warn her. I'm like, at a party and she's raising her hands and saying hello to everybody. I was like, somebody's got to warn her ass. I'm like, I'm gonna say something, you know. So I get picked on a lot for being a little too blunt in that way, because I'm like, I'm gonna put it out there. I mean, I'd want them to tell me, you know.
Joan says, no, you do that. Because I'm sitting here, I'm going, I hope somebody would tell me.
Yeah.
You know, what I do for a living, I have to sit across people and speak and explain documents. And I was in a closing once after I had shoved some pizza in my mouth and I had spinach in my teeth. And I wish somebody would have told me that, because here I am, explaining all these documents.
Oh,
And
wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Same concept.
That's right. Well, I would love.
Joan says embrace who you are. That is the best way to live life, and that's our advice to everybody. Embrace who you are and don't make excuses. Just live life who you are.
That's right. Thank you so much, Joan. We love you. You know this. We all love you. I would love. Now I think is the time for Eric to ask his question, and I cannot wait to see what he asks.
Okay, so Eric was talking to me about all the parties that he attends with Joan and that he's had discussions with her about this. But this is kind of profound, and he's going to just repeat the question and she'll repeat the answer for us, because his question was, as a suicide survivor, how did she process and put it back together again so she could move forward? And what effect did it have on the rest of her life? Because he wanted to see things from his mother's standpoint, his father's standpoint,
That's beautiful.
And Joan said, I understand that I accepted this end of the contract, but holy fuck, you get to Earth and you go, this shit's heavy. If I had known it would have been like this, I'd have never done this. But it is what I needed to learn for the big picture. Big picture being, we chose this before we got here. And nothing I could have done could have changed Edgar's contract. What I learned from this and from Edgar's suicide is that I am responsible for my own feelings and my own life, and I have absolutely zero control over the life, feelings, thoughts, happiness of any other energy here on Earth. I release myself from that guilt, and that's how I move forward.
Wow. Great question, Eric.
That's beautiful.
He's like, yep. Oh, so very wonderful. That's this edition with Bubba Gross and John Burgoyne for Coffee Talk. We're going to cheers, you guys,
Correct.
with our coffee
Cheers.
mugs. Happy Coffee Talk, and we'll be seeing you soon for Liberace.
Yes. And we want to thank you, Celestine, Grace, and Holly, and of course Eric, for always being here with me and moving me forward and everything else. Thank all of y'all for making all of this possible for us.
Oh, we love you guys, and thanks for being a guest host, because we really love the energy and the beauty that you add to Coffee Talk. Mwah.
See y'all next time.
See y'all.
Bye.